Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, metal faithful. It is I, your mandated reporter, Mr. Mark Radulich, and of course we're bringing you tonight the Metal Hammer of Doom, brought to you by the Radulich Broadcasting Network. My co-host for the evening, he's on time. I'm very happy about that. No having to wait for him to bring Mexicans over the border illegally. He's here. He's ready to talk some metal opera. The Metal Coop, Mr. Robert Cooper. How do you do, sir?
It was a pretty busy day, but luckily I was able to get half of the population of Cuba over the border, since Mexico kind of cut their ties with their trucking company. So we decided, why not make that new alliance with Cuba? Well, let's see make that work. Lowe's and Cuba.
So two things. One, I make everyone have a job here at the Radulich Broadcasting Network. Some people, if you do a podcast, you have to have a second job. And Mr. Cooper's second job is he has to upload the audio. No free rides, okay? You can't just come on here, flap your gums, say your stuff, and that's it, and just walk away with clean hands, clean, soft hands. No. Everyone has a job here at the Radulich Broadcasting Network. And Mr. Cooper, his job for every show that we do is to upload the music. And you fell down on the job today, sir. You didn't even post the wrong album. You posted no albums. I had to do it. I had to get my hands dirty. This is like the CEO of a major corporation having to go down and ring people up at the register. What the F, man?
What can I say? I wanted you to get your own taste of the show Undercover Boss. Actually, I totally meant I'd planned on getting off at 5 because they called me like, hey, buddy, can you come and help out today in the garden section? And I said, oh, sure, what time? He's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Come in any time. You can work as long as you want. Okay. Came in at 1, 3 o'clock. Hey, can you unload the truck tonight at 6? You people. So, of course, I said yes. But, yeah, I didn't get home till like 9:15. I was going to upload the stuff after I got home, but you were like, I got it. And I said, okay. Good say, it wouldn't have been too bad to upload. It's only 12 tracks. It's not like, when we do a retrospective and it's like, oh, yeah, here, go download half a discography. Have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It didn't take me that long, and tonight happens to be one of those nights where I actually have the house to myself. My wife and kids are at my mother-in-law's. No, we are not getting a divorce or anything like that. We are fine. It just so happens that I had a meeting, and I couldn't watch my kids because I had to go to a work meeting. And my wife had parent-teacher conference night where she is a teacher. So she didn't get home until late, and figuring, well, why drag the kids out of bed when they would be sleeping at my mother-in-law's just to bring them home and put them back to bed again? That would be stupid. And so going to the same place tomorrow anyway. My daughter goes to school near my mother-in-law. My wife works near there. So point being, they just slept at my mother-in-law's. Well, there was no reason for me to sleep up there. Number one, it's uncomfortable. Number two, I work 5 minutes from where I live. And it would be a lot longer for me to commute if I slept at my mother-in-law's, my family. So I am a single man tonight, Robert Cooper. I am a bachelor. I slid across the floor in my underpants and shirt. I've eaten terribly, and I don't have to adjust the volume on my podcast tonight. I can yell and scream and not have to worry about waking up children, and I can leave the music at the same volume as opposed to what I normally do, which is constantly raising and lowering the volume to accommodate the rest of a sleeping household.
Funny thing about teachers. I'm teaching at another school now, and my cooperating teacher that I'm working with is like, "You got a girlfriend, Mr. Cooper?" And I said, "Well, no, I don't." She goes, "Oh, well, we got a lot of young, pretty single women that work here." And I said, "All right, where do you sign me up?" And even funnier, even more fun is every day I work with that teacher, she finds out something random and new about me. Like yesterday, the kids are doing a Black History Month project, and they keep asking one kid wanted to do Notorious B.I.G. Yeah, he was denied. And this one kid goes, "I want to do Fetty Wap." And she couldn't figure out what Fetty Wap was, but I was like, "He's a rapper. He sounds like he's yodeling."
I don't know what that is either.
He's a rapper, and he sounds like he's yodeling.
Oh, I thought it was the guy that makes I thought it was the YouTube guy that plays video games and makes sound effects while he plays. But from
PewDiePie, same thing.
Okay. I don't know the difference.
Yeah, but so they're like, can anybody in the class rap? And half the kids raise their hand, and I raise mine. She's like, "Oh, you can rap, Mr. Cooper? Why don't you go ahead and do something?" I'm like, "Give me a few minutes. I'm going to actually write this down." Because I can rap off the top of my head. But I didn't want any words to come out that I didn't want to come out. So it took I gave it about...
Oops.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, stuff slip out. So I'm like, let me filter this. It took about 30 minutes and wrote everything down. And it actually got put on... the assistant teacher, because one of our kids has a disability, so he's got a one-on-one helper that's also an assistant teacher. So he recorded it, put it up on the school's Facebook for all it's like the teachers, like the group for the teachers. I'm like, all right. She's like, you're just full. The teacher's just, you're just full of surprises. You're gonna make a great catch for a girl. I'm like, oh, stop it, you. Yeah, because it's funny. I brought out my iPod, was it Tuesday? She's like, "What you listening to, Mr. Cooper?" And I said, "It's a band called Throssom Blood." And she goes, "Awesome Blood?" I'm like, "Throssom Blood." And I proceed to unload my knowledge on Joseph Campbell's sociological theories and the hero's journey. Oh, good old Throssom Blood. Never fails to start an interesting conversation.
Indeed. All right, speaking of interesting conversations, let's get into tonight's podcast. So we are talking about Avantasia, the metal opera. There are many, many progressive metal bands out there, especially in Europe, but there's only one metal opera, and that is Tobias Sammet of Edguy, Avantasia. And this is their, believe their 7th full-length album that they put out. There was the Avantasia, the Metal Opera, Avantasia, the Metal Opera 2, which has one of the best songs I've ever heard on it. If you haven't heard it, stop the podcast. Go listen to Chalice of Agony. You can listen to it either on Apple TV, or on the Apple Music app, which apparently is the bee's knees from what people are telling me, or you can listen to it on good old-fashioned Spotify. It'll work either way. But go listen to
Or
Chalice
you can go to YouTube.
Or you can go to YouTube. And if you're going to go to YouTube, you can also check out my YouTube channel where I've been posting old episodes of Long Road to Ruin and our new movie reviews, one of which is Deadpool. The seamless plug right there. Anywho, yes, go listen to Chalice of Agony. It's just one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. Talking about a sweeping progressive song. It's just amazing. In any case, ever since the Metal Opera Part 2, they've gone on to release other albums. Avantasia is actually touring this year, and they are promoting their 7th album, Ghostlights, which is actually part of a series of a second trilogy, I think. If I go back and look at some of the notes here. It was released on January 29th. We're getting to it today. And first, let me ask you, Mr. Cooper, are you familiar at all with Avantasia? Have you heard the Metal Opera? Have you heard the Metal Opera Part 2? Have you heard Chalice of Agony, sir?
Actually, this is my first time listening to Avantasia because, well, I always try to listen to every band that I can find. Damn, Europe and their symphonic power metal, it's something I have to kind of get around to. Because it's really interesting. Like, I listened to this album while unloading a truck, and it was a good time. It was a pretty good album. So I got a few touches of Nightwish in there, which is ironic considering they had the male singer from Nightwish. Actually, half the time I was thinking, man, I wish we could have invited Sean onto this. He would enjoy this album.
Well, you can tell him about it afterwards. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll send him a sorry we missed you. I'll just be like the USPS. Like, I had to sign for the package.
No, see, here's the problem. I think Sean curses these shows. And I'll tell you why.
Really?
Because every time we do a Long Road to Ruin, things go, I get kicked off the podcast or we get cut off. There's always a problem of some sort. And then Sean gets angry and, and then we have to deal with that. I never have a problem when I record with Winfrey. You and I typically don't have any major problems. But, Sean and I do Long Road to Ruin and everything goes to plaid.
Yeah, it doesn't like doing the overrun. That's why me and Jesse always get in trouble because there's always 20 minutes of library and book talk somewhere in the middle. So the bottom fucking falls out on us every fucking time. That's how you ended up with 4 hours of Woods Be Prey, because 2 hours in it was just like, guys, I think I'm going to quit. So that's why it was on pretty much my podcasting opus. Halfway into the first part, it ends up with Hulk Hogan racism jokes and awkward silence.
Yeah, you are known for your tangents as they are.
I'm known for it. Oh, don't act like you're immune, Mr. Radulich.
No. I'm going to actually upload Chalice of Agony because now that I've gone ahead and sold that song as much as I have, I feel the need to play it for people so you know what I'm talking about. But basically, while it's uploading, let me go ahead and talk a little bit about what Avantasia is for those people that don't know. Now, who the hell is Tobias Sammet? Tobias Sammet is the singer of Ed Guy. He's been an Ed Guy. He's been in Revolution, Renaissance, but the main band is Ed Guy. They actually put out an album not that long ago. I believe it was let me look here. Space Police, which you'll be hearing a little bit of. That was actually in 2014. We'll be hearing a little bit of Space Police later on this year when we do our covers, Army versus Navy, because they have a cover of Rock Me Amadeus, which is fantastic.
My favorite version of that is the edit from YouTube, Rock Me Diabetes, featuring Wilford Brimley.
Okay. In any case, so Ed Guy is from Germany, and they're another progressive metal band. Really good stuff. Well, years and years ago, Tobias Sammet put together the side project called Avantasia, and it was just called, in 2001, as a matter of fact, it was just called The Metal Opera. And, just picture, as many bands have done, an entire album sort of dedicated to one concept, one story, and they just kept rolling with it. And, Each album they've done has either been part of a story or its own separate entity. We've got the Metal Opera Part 2, The Scarecrow, The Wicked Symphony, Angel of Babylon, The Mystery of Time, and then this year has been Ghostlights. And they bring on guest singers and guest musicians. And you can absolutely picture visuals with this stuff. It's pretty masterful the way that they put this all together. It's Avantasia has been one of my sort of jewel discoveries as my taste in music has changed over the years. It's one of those things that I've really hung on to, and of all the progressive metal bands out there, I tend to favor Avantasia more so than others, just because they do put that extra emphasis on creating music that lends itself to visuals as well. Not just creating music videos, but something that you could actually see on Broadway, or at some huge amphitheater in Europe. So. So you gave it a listen today. What were some of your thoughts about it when you first heard it?
I didn't know it was actually an opera. The funny thing. So listening to this, I'm just getting some rock out here. And as we kept going through the album, I was like, all right, this is what I was expecting. And then occasionally I'd be like, not quite. I was fairly impressed with it. I thought it was really well done. I didn't know there were so many guest stars on it, though. It's kind of hard to differentiate between people sometimes when you're carrying rock. But looking at the cast, as what's his name, Sammet likes to call it, get some interesting people here. You get Marco Nightwish, Jeff Tate, Mr. Clean himself is on this album. Bruce Kulick from Kiss does guitars on it. So it's pretty well done, and listening to it a second time, you really pick up on a lot of it. And on some of the better songs on it, like the second song is like almost 13 fucking minutes long. You really get a sense and scope of what they're going for in this album, and I feel like it's pretty well done.
Okay, let's take a quick time out here, and we're gonna, if you've listened to the show long enough, you know that as Crawford said, I am prone to tangents, both in storytelling and playing music that's not on the album we're reviewing, or even by the artist we're reviewing. But in this particular case, we are going to stick with at least the musician. I'm not going to go and play Cracker Guarded by Monkeys again, though I do like that song. Instead, here's the song that really got it rolling for me. And you can just imagine, with the original Meta Opera, I was like, okay, this is not bad. This is, my friend called it, this is definitely Dungeons and Dragons music. Then I heard this, and this changed my life. This is Chalice of Agony from the Metal Opera Part 2.
Show me the way to the hallway to
that on stage. Not just like the guys playing the song, but like, Roman columns and people, singing on stage and just a whole production being made out of that.
I could definitely see a similar production to the video actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf being with this song. I don't know if you've ever seen that video, but it's absolutely wonderful. Have you ever seen that video?
Thank yourself.
Oh God, it was a comedian who I'm actually tempted to fucking upload this video in a second. I think I will. But what it does is that the song is about a cannibalistic version of Shia LaBeouf, and it starts out with just the guy, like the YouTube guy, comedian, just sitting there at on the stage with the spotlight on and a mic. And then there's like there's a full chorus. There's a children's chorus there. They've got dancers, like not just like dancers. I'm talking like fucking Cirque du Soleil looking shit. And then they have a bunch of shirtless man dancers with big heads that look kind of like Shia LaBeouf that are also dancing around. And it's just telling the story of you trying to get away from a cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Okay.
It is wonderful. It is a really catchy song too. Yeah,
okay.
I'll have to upload that for later listening on the podcast, because nothing fucking says here's some metal like actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
So it's an amazing song though, isn't it? Like the gallop and the lyrics. I could go on about the song for hours.
It's a very well done song. Just judging from the segment that I heard of it, I felt like there was a lot of build to it, which on progressive albums, I think that's almost a key to it, because I like really long songs sometimes. Like, for example, good band plug here. Ne Oblivis Scaris is they're an Australian progressive, like extreme metal band that uses violins like the same way that guitars are used in most albums. And it is
that's pretty cool.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. They have one song that's like 13 minutes long that like the first 7 minutes are like build up with just instrumental stuff, and then the vocals finally kick in. But there's a certain build to it, like it slowly starts building until you hit that point. And there's a lot of Dream Theater songs that do that. Some of the modern Dream Theater songs kind of just fucking drag ass with masturbation, but I guess when you're around for so long, you are allowed to have lots of masturbation. Like their last album, apparently. Good thing we didn't cover that, since it, I think, was almost like it was fucking like 30 or 40 songs, and it was like 2 hours for one album. I was like, Christ on ice. That is ridiculous.
All right, so this is the sequel to The Mystery of Time, which came out previous to this. The story follows the protagonist as he continues his journey with a group of scientists willing to find a way to align everybody's personality so they can understand each other and make the world a better place. Soon the protagonist realizes aligning people is also a way of having control over them. Each song of the album represents a different station of the protagonist's journey. As Sammet explains, it's a journey where he is looking for answers to some questions about his own existence, and that leaves its mark on his philosophical worldview as well. Those 12 songs represent, we're actually going to do 13 songs, we're going to do the bonus, but those 12 songs represent key moments on his journey, and then it's done. He left an open ending so that people can think about the things that happen in the story. You should be able to interpret it for yourself in the end. He said, the whole concept of this album deals with questionable ideals you have in life. It depends on which philosophy of life you have. Such ideals can be very different from each other, and it's about distractions to find crossfires on the way to find out what you really want from life. So with that said, let's dig into this album. Track 1, this is actually the only single they've released from Ghostlights. This is Mystery of a Blood Red Rose.
right from the cradle. No matter what you dream, beware of what you say, until the cartwheel's out of control to burst out of place. No time to breathe, don't ever find your way. Bring on the night, seize every drop of life away. Life's a tasty outlaw. In future, bring it on. Mystery of a blood red road, burning like a raging fire. When the day's been torn apart, we'll leave it behind. Mystery of a blood red road, seeking on a blind desire. Let the scent of poison doubt tempt me away.
So, let me ask you a question. Couldn't that be a Meatloaf song?
Yeah, it felt very meaty. It was a very meaty song, in fact. That's like the one. That's actually one thing about this album I would say. It's more of a rock opera than a metal opera. That's for sure. I felt like this song was good. It was a good song. I was looking for more of an edge on it, maybe, like something that would make it more of a metal opera. But as a rock opera, it did a good job of opening things up.
I mentioned Meatloaf was, according to Wikipedia, the opening track and single "Mystery of a Blood Red Rose" was intended to have Meatloaf as a lead singer, and his management was initially positive about having him perform on the album, but for unknown reasons, they ultimately declined.
What a bunch of dicks.
It'd been fun to have Meatloaf on this, wouldn't it?
It would. It would. I feel like we really missed out on something there. I don't know. Has he ever been on a metal album before?
I would have to look. But now, this next one is 12 minutes long. We are obviously not going to play even half of it. But
no.
We'll play this edition of Let the Storm Descend Upon You. can get away with playing. So yeah, that's 12 minutes right there. We played about 30 minutes and change of it. The whole time I'm listening to that song, I'm like, this whole album just sounds like victory.
I don't know if it's got as much victory in it as a Dragon Force album now. I thought this song is definitely, I think it was the highlight of the album, in my opinion. This song is masterfully done. I feel like this can tell its own story just by itself, and it's so very well done. Hell, I'd almost say it's very much like one of the Harry Potter books. You know, it's pretty long, and it's part of a wider story, but it can tell its own story all by itself. And one thing, actually, if I may bring up, there's, you know, we mentioned there's quite a few, guest people on these albums. And this one here, this song has, on guitars, Oliver Hartman, who is that guitars? I think that's a guitar. No. Let's find out. Hold on. Yeah, guitars. He did lead guitars in the band. Actually, I'm really not finding him doing a whole lot of guitar work. That's the funny part. Yeah, it's weird because, I'm honestly surprised because most of his, actually almost all of his, what are you doing, cat? So I got to bitch at my cat for a second. Fuck off. The only guitar work I see him doing is a band that he's in called Echoes, but all of his other credits are vocal. That's really interesting. And then vocally, we've got
Bjorn Land, who was in Master Plan and among other bands.
Yep, and then a guy named Ronnie Adkins, who is from a band called Pretty Maids, who I'd never heard of before. But despite their name, they're actually not a glam band.
This also features a guest vocalist, Robert Mason, of She's My Cherry Pie. Warrant.
Was he the actual? Oh well, he's been the Warrant vocalist from 2008. Okay, and he was in Lynch Mob. There you go.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean this album has lots of talent in it. Like there is lots of talent packed in there. It's very much like a sardine can of love.
Yes. And speaking of a sardine can of love, I want to get to this third one because of who's on it. But let's go back a sec because you said this was masterfully done. So break it down for me. What were the elements that you thought stood out, and why did they stand out to you?
What really stood out was the build, the build on the song. I talked about a minute or so ago, not a minute, but a few minutes ago about the way a lot of progressive songs can really build itself up to a crescendo and have a nice climax to it that really helps the song stick to you. This song here actually tells a story in it, but it's kind of builds up to a certain point and then delivers on it, which is very important. The guitars on this album are really well done too. There's some pretty cool shreddy songs. There are some songs in here that definitely add to the metal part of it. Not everything on here is light and fluffy or Meatloaf-esque, but the guitar work was very well done. The different vocalists really helped too. Because I have to admit, sometimes when you have a concept album and you have more parts and you have vocalists, it can get a little weird. Like apparently in the new Dream Theater album, it tries to tell some epic story, but they've got only I don't even know if they have more than one vocalist, or at least I know the main vocalist, by what I've read, did a lot of different parts, and that just doesn't quite that doesn't work when you have somebody that has to do so many different voices at once. It's kind of hard to differentiate, but I feel like this album's done a good job because it seems like Mr. Sammet has kind of figured out how this works at this point.
So let me ask you a question, sir.
Yes.
Do you want to rock?
I want to rock. I want to rock.
All right.
Rock!
This next song is The Haunting, featuring Twisted Sister's own Dee Snider.
Can't count the days I've roamed, a string ghostlight to wither on the vine. A paling tale of days long gone, I won't be until you close your eyes.
That was a little less I Want to Rock, and We're Not Gonna Take It, and a little more Captain Howdy. Do you remember Captain Howdy? Is that one of the ones that you remember from the height of the Twisted Sister era?
I can't say that Captain Howdy is something that really jogs my memory, but it does sound like a character in a gay porno. It sounds like a character in a gay porno, I'm not going to lie. Oh, Captain Howdy. Hear that? Oh, no. It sounds like a weird sexual act you're going to have to pay high dollar for. Hey, boy, you want the Captain Howdy?
First of all, here, I won't play it, but, yeah, Captain Howdy is a Twisted Sister song. And it's actually, I don't know the whole details here, but when you look up Captain Howdy without Twisted Sister, you know what comes up? The Exorcist. Pazuzu. Captain Howdy be referred to, Pazuzu from The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Named Captain Howdy during the early stages of demonic possession.
Huh.
So there you go.
I wonder, Captain Howdy, I wonder if he was related to Captain Kangaroo. Do you think he had any demonic possession?
So now you need to listen to the Twisted Sister song.
Well, I know it's going to get uploaded in a second.
No. But I'll tell you how it goes. It goes, oh, it's so nice to see you all inside my dreamy little world, and it's so nice to be with all you lovely little boys and girls. Make yourselves comfortable. My place is so divine. Don't you think I'm wonderful? Say yes, you're on my time. Stay away from Captain Howdy. That's all I'm going to read about that. Anyway, The Haunting. What we're supposed to be talking about. Fucking welcome to the Attention Deficit Disorder Metalcast. Squirrel! So what do you think of The Haunting?
I think it needed more Connecticut in it, personally. It was a good song. It was a Haunting in Connecticut. I think that was a movie, if I'm not mistaken. It was a good song, though. It was pretty decent. It didn't quite blow me away, but I liked it. I didn't even notice Dee Snider was in there sometimes. I guess I don't necessarily recognize Dee Snider without all his makeup on.
Dee Snider doesn't have a bad voice. I mean, I've heard him sing other stuff outside of Twisted Sister, and it's not bad.
He has a good voice. It's not great, but it's a good voice.
Yeah, he's no Tobias Sammet or anything. But I don't know. I feel like if you get Dee Snider on there, you want sort of a raucous caucus of a song. But if you go back and you listen to old Twisted Sister, there was probably an even amount of Captain Howdy type stuff as there was the I Wanna Rock, MTV type stuff. So I suppose it's not a waste to use him on a song like this. I guess it's more of a personal disappointment because when I hear Dee Snider, I think, we're going to get a raucous, riotous song, and instead I got, you get this little, creepy horror type jingle.
Jeez, Dee Snider, how dare you not conform to our expectations? You're a disappointment. Now go to your room and think about what you've done.
That's right, Dee Snider. All right, anything else on The Haunting? Because I feel like you don't have a whole lot to say about it.
I don't have a whole ton. I like the song overall. It's not one that's really, I think coming off of the second track. What do we call the second track again? I don't remember. I just remember it was a really long one. Oh, The Storm Descending Upon You. After the storm descended upon me, I kind of had to let myself down a little, with The Haunting. So it's kind of almost been a bridge to the next song for me. But it was decent. The next song featuring Jeff Tate, Mr. Clean himself.
Yes.
The man who managed to ruin.
He was from Queensryche. Another empire.
He used to be from the man that used to be from Queensryche until he pissed them all off because he seems like a total prick.
I was listening to that the other day on satellite radio while I was, driving my kids around. In any case, this is track 4. This is featuring Jeff Tate. This is Seduction of Decay. You change the tenor of that just a bit, it almost sounds like it could be a Metallica song. But certainly the right length for it at 7 minutes and 18 seconds.
Yeah, I was surprised that it was that long. It didn't really feel like it.
What was that?
I said, I'm surprised it didn't come across. I said, I was really surprised it was a 7-minute song. It didn't feel like it was that length at all.
No, I thought it was good. Has sort of that Egyptian feel to it. I don't know if that was purposeful or not, but just I don't know. Came across as it almost reminded me, not as heavy, but it almost reminded me a little bit of Nile.
I could see it. It actually did remind me of Metallica. Not in any specific song, but it kind of felt like something that riff-wise came off of like the Black Album. It reminded me of that reason. But it would say it's a pretty catchy song. It's definitely a highlight of this album, I feel like. I think the longer songs really do a good job of sticking around.
Agreed. All right, so this next one is the title track, and it features Michael Kiske of Unisonic, formerly of Place Vendome and Halloween. A lot of getting around here on this album. And also, we go back to Jorn Land. He's on here as well, as we mentioned before. So here we go. This is the title track. This is Ghostlights. No, that's more like it. That's the Avantasia I've grown to love. The double bass drum gallop, the high-pitched singing, that's what I like.
Yeah, it felt very much like very much of a power metal song. That sounded like something that would come off like a Gamma Ray album. It was really, I think it was a pretty good song. It was definitely one that kind of stands out from the other ones that came before it. I think that's fair thing to say.
By far. I remember driving around in the car, and sometimes if you're listening to music in the car, it tends to just all blend together, and you have something that really has to. It becomes background noise, especially if you're like busy, if you're deep in thought, or you're making sure that your kids aren't trying to kill each other in the back seat, that sort of thing. A lot of it can become just sort of white noise. And then something has to pop for you to really get your attention. And I remember this did. I remember this really stuck out among the other songs.
Yeah, it does a very good job of doing that. The side note, one thing I've noticed, because I was looking at some of the guest vocalists on other albums, like Metal Opera Part 2, had the guy from Stradivarius. And apparently he had an album recently. But have you ever noticed on all these more kind of rock opera sort of bands like Avantasia or Rhapsody, you ever noticed how, like, the damn guy leading the band always has his fucking name in front of it? Like Tobias Sammet, Avantasia, or Luca Turilli's Rhapsody, which that's his way of. I think that's the way that he separates himself from the other Rhapsody, a Rhapsody of Fire. But this guy had, like, whatever the fuck his name was, Avalon. I'm like, have we really got to the point to where it's like, God damn it, I am so important, I must include my name in the band. Like, it's kind of, what is it? That's their way of saying this is a Spike Lee joint? Or Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight? Like, I guess they feel like they've gotten that point to where their name is a selling point on their albums.
Well, a couple of things. First, you're asking the wrong guy who named his podcast account the Radulich and Broadcasting Network.
That is true. You are a bit of an egotist for that.
Many, many years ago, a guy I used to partner up with on many a project, we met in college, and we for a long time we did a podcast together. I think we attempted to even write a screenplay at one point together. But he was my pal, and he was my partner in a lot of creative endeavors. And at one point he was like, you need to be a brand. You Mark Radulich, at this point I was a punk rock Republican. Don't ask. But he was like, you need to be your own brand and market yourself. You are what sells you. And I've never forgotten that. So yes, I am like Star Wars. I put my name on everything. And why not? If you're trying to sell something, in many ways you're trying to sell yourself. Tobias Sammet is not just trying to put out records. He's selling himself as somebody who is putting together this giant musical project. So why not take credit for it by putting his name out front?
I can see it. Okay.
Someday, Robert Cooper, you may be involved in a project and you want to get your proper credit for it. And it might be, Robert Cooper's, Robert Cooper's Pit Christ, or Robert Cooper's Common Core. I don't know.
Oh, no, I wouldn't put my name on the Common Core. I wouldn't want people bitching about me on the internet constantly. Oh, God.
Okay.
God, that is. I do have to say that is one thing that I tire of on the internet is people's opinions on things that they have really no part in terms of making it.
Speaking of which, our next song here is Draconian Love, the only kind of love that matters.
Well, that's true because all love is technically draconian when you really kind of dial it back there.
Our guest vocalist is Herbie Langhans. I said Herbie Hancock, but I was just being cheeky. He was in bands Sinbreed, Beyond the Bridge, and 7th Avenue. Let's go ahead and listen to Draconian Love.
You said draconian love, you said draconian. You said draconian love, you said draconian. Welcome to your reign, seemingly endless as you take your wing. The world through kaleidoscope eyes until you unlearn what you keep inside. Those innocent eyes, the fraction of life for a little fairy stone. Feel the cold around, you're gonna wait its turn no more. Tell me, how should I embrace like roses we'll wither on the vine? Why should I bide my time if it drives away sometime? Where are you now? Where are you now? Leaving me down here lost in the rain. Hey, 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 when will God explain this draconian love? You said draconian love, you said draconian love. Where do I go? Where are you now? Telling me lost through fire and rain. Angel, when will you explain this draconian love? It's our draconian. Infiltrate us with mercy, bait us with.
Miss McHugh there. So if after hearing that song, you'll think, hey, that reminds me of Moon Sorrow and some other goth type metal bands. Who is this Sinbreed and where can I find more of it? Well, you're in luck because Sinbreed actually put out an album this year called Master Creator. And you can find more about them. They're actually described as Christian metal. They've been around since 2005. They've been around since 2005. They have 30 albums total, and they've shared some band members with Blind Guardian and Dragonfly. So there you go. You check that out, Robert.
Well, maybe for Herbie Hancock.
Go check out some Sinbreed. All right. So, Draconian Love. Kind of a silly beginning. So, Draconian Love. I'm listening to that. I'm like, oh, boy. Hey, here we go.
Yeah, I hope you boys like cheese.
I mean, it's okay. I like the guy's voice. It definitely reminded me of the old, style goth metal type singing. So I dug it. I was just, I couldn't help but giggle when I heard the lyrics, though.
Yeah, it was a little cheesy. Every time you mention Moon Sorrow, the only Moon Sorrow I've really listened to was like their early stuff, which was a lot closer to black metal. and it's really fucking good. But I never got much into their doom stuff, or their more gothic. It wasn't really just doomy, just more of a gothic metal. But, yeah, I felt like the vocals were really good. And by the way, Herbie Hancock, that's my favorite reference to bring out. Anytime I have to sign something, I'm like, oh, let me put my Herbie Hancock on it. And most people don't get the joke. They just kind of look at me, they're like, I don't get it. Like, well, is it the guy who signed the Constitution?
Are you serious? People don't know who Herbie Hancock is?
I don't think people just don't think it's funny or they don't get the joke. I mean, I've had a few people chuckle at it, but I'm usually the only person that's amused, which is funny because I am often amused by my own jokes. But that's the reason I tell them. But most people just kind of look at me like they don't really say anything. I'm like, okay, tough crowd.
You need to let me know if you run into somebody when you do that, and the problem therein is that they do not know who Herbie Hancock is.
I don't think a whole lot of people remember him, which is a shame because he had like one good album, if I'm not mistaken.
Sad.
One big song. It was. And speaking of sad, yeah, this song was good. I mean, I feel like it could have been better, but a little cheesy. It was actually pretty cheesy. And I don't really get the idea of draconian love because love is one of those things I feel like once you get down to the brass tacks of it, I think the end point is kind of the same no matter where you're in. So, like, I just don't know how you can get quite draconian. It's not like law. Not like, it's like, oh, and now you compare Hammurabi's Code versus the American judicial system. It's like, oh, how was love then? How was love now? I mean, I guess it might be a little different in terms of courtship and treatment, but, I mean, technically it's still just a chemical factor. I don't know. I think I just put way too much fucking thought into this.
You really are overthinking this. And it's so funny because, like, I would like to think I'm a reasonably smart guy, and I talk to Winfrey, and he kind of makes me feel like a dummy because he's really smart. But, I would like to say that somewhere on the scale, I would like to think that I'm north of average intelligence. And you trying to explain draconian love, first I started to drift off, and then I got angry and wanted to beat you up and yell nerd.
Me?
Yes. We're talking. You tried over explaining this for about 45 seconds, and that's all it took for me to turn into fucking what's his face from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, Ogre. Nerds. Oh yeah. Well, sometimes I will just straight up drop random tidbits of way higher than my pay grade knowledge, just because I fucking want to. I take pride in that. That's why every time I've played Trivial Pursuit, I'm that asshole that plays around for 20 minutes because I'm like, oh sure, as long as I don't land on a science question or like old literature, I'm good. Even my favorite one was the one that blew everybody away. Name 2 out of the 3 Supreme Court justices that Ronald Reagan appointed. I was like, it took me about 2 minutes to kind of rack my brain. I'm like, okay, no, not that guy. I'm like, okay, Sandra Day O'Connor. I'm like, right. And then I'm like, Anthony Scalia. And they're like, oh shit, you're right. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, what do I win? They're like, you get to roll again.
And once again, I'm just sitting here like, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Tear down that wall. Reagan smash.
I felt like it was really appropriate for President's Day that I posted the band Iron Reagan. They're very presidential. Nothing says nothing says Happy President's Day like your kid's an asshole.
You should have posted the dead Kennedys. Specifically,
damn it. I posted 4 more years by Iron Reagan, but I should have thought of the dead Kennedys. Yeah, Iron Reagan's awesome. If they have a new album, we're going to have to do it because it's going to be like a 25-minute long album because they're a fucking crossover band. And yeah, they're pretty much their best song is 10 seconds long, and it's just called Your Kid's an Asshole, where they just say Your Kid's an Asshole about 5 times. I'm like,
Super.
As somebody in the education system, I really support messages like that.
All right, our next track, moving right along, our next track features a guest vocalist from Nightwish and Tarot, Marco Hayatala. This is Master of Puppets. No, this is Master of the Pendulum.
Who's the one who's stretching out his hand? Is it it or is it me that wanders out? Take him to the pendulum and sway. Like a mistletoe clinging to the cold. I am the talent of those who need to twine around. The rock of ages of those who meant to wander around. I got no time for a break, and we got no time to waste. So tear it up with the pace. Our 25 miles away. That you don't need anyway. Oh, what a beautiful day. Begging for a dance while your fans are running out. Redemption's what I hold in my hand. Kick the waves high by your love to 95. Master of the hands that guide you. Run if you can while the walls are sticking out. Ancient love days of the soldering pace. I will make you mine on your love to 95. Master of the hands that push you.
I really like that song.
It really felt like a Nightwish song.
It did, except for the little TikTok part there where I kept thinking of Metallica.
We've got Metallica on the brain. We could review them someday.
Well, it's funny. We've already the specific song I'm thinking about. We've actually already reviewed that album. That came from the same.
Oh
anchor.
no! Frantic, tick, 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 tock.
Right, yeah. But that was the only part that
yeah.
Metallica. The rest of it,
I never thought about Metallica bad. Huh. Yeah, like the overall.
It definitely sounds like it could be a Nightwish song.
Yeah, I felt like maybe it's just because Marco's there, but it really has that feel of a lot of their songs. But I mean, that's not a bad thing. Nightwish is if you're gonna rep a band, fucking Nightwish is where you start. They are amazing live. Which, by the way, speaking of bands I want to see live, so like maybe 2 weeks before fucking Carolina Rebellion, who's coming to Charlotte? Amon Amarth and Entombed. That's gonna be cool. Oh yeah. Well, hopefully this time it won't be like last time where fucking Entombed got pulled from the bill with Deicide. So what ended up being a double headliner ended up being a single headliner. Nobody fucking cared because DSI always comes around.
All right, so your mom's letting you go to shows now? Because when we first started doing this podcast, it was very much a, well, if my mom will let me. And just so people understand, if you're listening to this for the first time, I didn't start doing this podcast with Cooper when he was 13. He was still in his 20s when we started this show, and yet Mom still had to give him permission to go see the metal. So I need to keep up on what's going on in your relationship with your mother. Is she allowing you to go to more shows?
Kind of. Actually, the funny thing is, I don't think I actually asked to go to one past Nightwish because either I worked on the day there was a concert, or I didn't have any interest, or I couldn't find someone to go with me because I usually am not going to drive all the way down to a place to like not know anybody. But I've got those two concerts I'm looking forward to because unfortunately Ziggy's, which is here in Winston, is getting closed, which blows. Even though, yeah, it's getting closed. The Tremont, am I thinking Tremont? Yeah, the Tremont got closed due to rezoning. The Chop Shop got closed due to rezoning in Charlotte. Those two are in Charlotte, and they've rezoned those areas to build luxury apartments or some shit. Fucking asswipes, I swear. So we're stuck now with the Milestone, which is a hole in the wall, though apparently it's a legendary hole in the wall. They had a few big acts play over the years. And then you've got the Fillmore, which, you'll get your Night Wishes and Amon Amarth because Amon Amarth's going to fucking pack that place. That band is huge. I'd say for metal, Amon Amarth are huge. They've got a lot of appeal with people who don't typically stick around. Kind of like Ailstorm. Apparently all of Ailstorm's fans are a bunch of bros. You wouldn't think, but they're a bunch of fucking bros.
Yeah, I don't understand the connection between, meathead, tough guy bros and pirate metal. You would think they'd want to be
because they sing about booze.
Well, I was going to say maybe it's the irony of it. They're like, they're singing about rum and pirates. And then, they don't want to beat them up as much.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun and catchy. I guess that's kind of where it goes. But, I'm looking at that concert, and then I really want to go to Saturday and Sunday for Carolina Rebellion, because Friday, it's got some good stuff. It's definitely got some really good classic rock like ZZ Top. But I'm like, Saturday, you've got that fucking line of Ghost, Lamb of God, Anthrax, Megadeth, and then Sunday I get Baby Metal. And I don't know, I actually considered, would I leave after Baby Metal? I'm like, well, technically, Rob Zombie's playing last. So I'm like, the only band I really care to see on Sunday is God damn it, I have to see Baby Metal. Even though you want to talk about both.
You have
Carolina
to go see
Rebellion.
Come on.
Carolina Rebellion.
I expect a report from that show.
It is fucking bro. It is bro central. It is 30,000 bros in their bro.
I don't want to hear it. If Baby Metal is playing anywhere near where you live, you're going. There's no discussing this.
Yeah, I'm really hoping to get that. I got to get those days off. Let me go put in for those. I probably need to put in for those tomorrow. Fuck you, cat. You got your claws in my chest. Ass wipe. Sorry, yelling at my cat. I need to remember to put those days off. Cause,
yeah, you do.
Cool. Because that's really the one reason. Most of those bands, I don't think Ghost comes around here very much, and Entombed is, they're European. You don't get many European bands here, especially the smaller death metal ones. But, some of those bands like Anthrax, they've come here about once every year or two. Megadeth comes here every year. And Lamb of God's bound to show up. So, yeah, really Baby Metal, because you're not going to get a chance to see them very much.
Well, there's certainly shit not coming to Florida, so you have to go have fun for me.
You should just drive up here to North Carolina. What's the worst thing that could happen? What's your wife going to do? What is she going to do? Fire you?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to WrestleMania this year, and that's kind of my big trip.
Because WrestleMania is never going to fucking come near me, that's for sure.
No, it's not, unless you people build a new stadium for the Panthers. Then maybe. So, I'm going to WrestleMania in Dallas, which, you know, the card may not be any good, but at least I'll be there. It'll be fun. And that's really it. And we agreed to try to pay off some of our debt this year, which means I had to cut back on the entertainment budget, which means I had to pretty much cut out concerts. Which is okay, because nothing's coming to Florida this fucking year anyway. Jesus. Slayer and Testament, which I was really looking forward to, not coming to Florida. Lamb of God, Corrosion of Conformity, and Clutch, not coming to Florida. You know what's coming to Florida? Fucking Sister Hazel. That's what's coming to Florida.
And, you know, that's really weird because Florida usually gets like 3 fucking dates. I mean, has everybody decided to boycott Florida? Like, are they just like, you know, until you bring back bath salts, we're not coming back to Florida? Is that what it is?
I don't know. But Slipknot's touring with Marilyn Manson, and my wife pretty much said absolutely under no circumstances.
That's a shame.
Not a huge fan of the old Manson.
All
right.
Well, you know what? Would you rather have you bring Charles Manson on stage?
She might grab it. She might. All right, let's get on with this. This is our next song here. Our vocalist is Sharon Denadell from Within Temptation. Very good band. If you haven't heard them, definitely check out Within Temptation. This is the Isle of Evermore. That's a good song. Certainly enjoy the girl's voice. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, the girl's voice definitely changed things up. It brightened the songs up, I think. Made the song stand out just for that fact alone, just because you don't have the kind of the same sort of male timbre going throughout. Yeah, it was a good song. I liked it.
All right. Let's move on here to track 9. We are joined once again by one of the singers of Warrant and Lynch Mob, Robert Mason. This is Babylon Vampires.
And we have guitars from Bruce Kulick and Oliver Hartman. Bruce Kulick of Kiss fame, of course.
All right, let's hear it. Track 9, Babylon Vampires, spelled with a Y. Babylon Pyres.
Babylon what?
Babylon Vampires. This is what he was thinking it sounds like.
Yeah, maybe some Babylon Vampires.
Vampires.
Vampires. Goddamn, goddamn Hollywood vampires, I tell you. They need to get the fuck off back to the sunlight and just turn into a bunch of fucking bacon and I can cook them.
Was any of that English?
Hell yeah, man.
Okay, Boomhauer.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking, I'm like, if I ever thought about acting, I'll have to work on my southern accent. It's not my natural accent, and people would probably be like, oh, he sounds like a dipshit.
If you ever go into acting, you do your Bane voice.
I could do my Batman voice, too.
Or, Bane discussing this album. Or you could do Bane discussing this album with Batman.
That's true. And then I could bring in Mr. Freeze anytime I need to make puns about the code. I get so much fucking joy out of that.
I remember I remember just the long period of time where you guys were obsessing over do you want to go to Snowman? Oh God, yes. Which led to Do You Want to Kill the Batman? Which I think somebody actually made a real song out of.
Oh yeah, they did. Do You Want to Kill the Batman? Yeah, I think we need to bring the trend back. That's what the podcast's been missing. That's why the numbers have dipped, because we stopped singing songs from fucking Frozen. That's what it is. We need to start that in.
The truth of the matter is, when I go back and look at the numbers, I would say more so than any other of the series on the Radulich Broadcasting Network, people are still downloading stuff from last year and the year before that on almost a daily basis at some point or another. But I would say the most that people will go back and listen to older shows is actually this one. For whatever reason, people are gravitating to this particular channel for the music podcast. I don't know why.
I don't either. It's run by us schlubs. I mean, I've noticed the one that always gets the biggest initial push is the MMA podcast, because that often has like kind of the post-fight reaction to some of the bigger events, and I've noticed those get usually like the biggest initial push. But yeah, ours for some reason has a lot of staying power, I guess because music's one of those things to where it's easily digestible, and people oftentimes will come looking for someone else's opinion to maybe help form their own, or sometimes they'll just come and look.
I also think it happens to be more timeless than, say, movie reviews, where people, like the Deadpool review that we just did, for example, probably has a shelf life of maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then most people are going to forget about it and move on to something else. Whereas people might, come back over and over again because they've just discovered an album or whatever, and they want to, there's a podcast about it. And I can't explain the Baby Metal one. To this day, that one befuddles me.
I think it's because the Baby Metal had such an interest from the internet, because a lot of people looked at the song Doki Doki Morning, and they were like, this is so weird. Oh, look, it's the Japanese, and they're putting metal in it. Ooh, look how crazy the Japanese are. And I think that initial fascination kind of turned around and really boosted our podcast. And the funny thing is actually out of initial 2 weeks listening, that was one of our biggest turnouts. That, along with Hatebreed and Tomahawk, were our biggest ones. And then there's Nightwish, which started out with 200 or 300 listens and is 50 away from Baby Metal. I guess Sean Comer equals ratings.
I would say Nightwish ratings, because if Sean Comer equaled ratings, Long Road to Ruin would do a lot better. Love you, Sean, but we attribute people listening to the Baby Metal podcast because of my wife jokingly. She's not the reason. She's not.
No, I think it was easily, obviously. It was TV on there talking about the Japanese girls.
Sure.
Or maybe they all listened in because they were waiting for me to show up.
Where's Robert Cooper in his Hentai Sentai podcast? Right, speaking of which, speaking of hentai, here's a song called Lucifer, who brings back Yorn Land. So we'll go ahead and listen to that now. This is track 10, Lucifer.
Eternities ago I must have fallen. Through my pride been perfect in my ways. The morning star they fire down from heaven. Oh, envy wrapped into a gown of grace. From the darkness, I swear from dawn to dusk and of the edge. Oh, hear the creature crying in the distance, buried in a symbol on a shelf. I'll take you home tonight. Home tonight, fire and flesh and blood, touching the flames tonight, touching the flames tonight. Morning star embrace me on these grounds.
So that one's only 3 minutes and 48 seconds long, so I had to cut that short. So it's a nice little piano song. Not really much to it.
Oh, what song am I thinking of that reminded me of someone? Oh. Damn it. I can't remember. But it really reminded me of just some random pop ballad from the 80s.
Yeah.
It was... are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. I was like, it was a pop ballad from the 80s. It was good. I mean, actually, that was kind of the weaker points of the album, but it was passable. It's definitely, it's only 3 minutes long.
Yellow of the morning, baby. Just touch my cheek before you leave me, baby. Sorry.
See, I was singing, turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit close. What song is that?
Never come around, turn around. Oh, I love that song. Have you ever heard the band do that?
No.
The song you're thinking of is, hang on, let's go back a page. First of all, the song you're thinking of is Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Total Eclipse of the Heart. I would have never remembered that. Like, I remember that song.
Have you ever heard the Dan Band cover it?
No.
Oh, you are missing out, Sonny. The Dan Band cover of Total Eclipse of the Heart is the bee's knees. It's the tits. It is bananas.
I will have to look this up.
Are you familiar with the Dan Band at all?
Nope.
Oh, my goodness. You don't know the Dan Band. All right, so picture it. It's the early 2000s. And there's a guy doing karaoke. He does it so well, he gets a record contract. And my friend and I actually saw the Dan Band. It was one of the few concerts we've ever been to where we sat at a table. This was at the B.B. King's Blues Bar in Manhattan. So the Dan Band is of course Dan, And all they do are covers of songs sung by women. So they do like Tyrone and Shoop and let me quick grab a copy of the Dan Band. It's hilarious. The Dan Band. The Dan Band songs or albums. The Dan Band Live. Here we go. So they do Free Your Mind, I Am Woman, Gloria, Mickey. They do an ABBA medley. They do Shoop, What a Man, and Never Gonna Get It. Genie in a Bottle, No Scrubs, Slave for You. Tyrone, No More Drama. Hold On, Luca, Milkshake. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Flashdance / Fame. Whenever, Wherever. Hips Don't Lie. You Ought to Know, Que Sera. And the bonus track, If I Want to Rock You Hard This Christmas. Just stop what you're doing right now and go listen to the Dan Band Live and come back after you've heard their studio version of Total Eclipse of the Heart. It will change your life.
All right.
So they upload the song and just do this now while we're listening to the next song.
What was that?
I'm going to let you decide. I said, should I just upload Total Eclipse of the Heart now and get this over with?
I don't know. I mean, I still have the actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf uploaded. Did it ever process? Let's find out. Yeah, processed. Oh boy. Because I figure we'll have to go out to one of those two.
Okay. I haven't up. If you see it on the studio, that's fine. But I haven't refreshed my studio, so I don't know what we're talking about there. All right, let's move on to the next song. What are we up to? Track 11.
We are at track 11.
All right, this is Unchained Light.
Every now and then I get of all my years have gone by. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified. I see the fucking look in your eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. Fucking every now and then I fall apart. And I need you now, tonight. I fucking need you more than ever. And if you'll only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever. And we'll only be making it right. 'Cause we'll never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the line. Your love is like a shadow on me all the time. Shit, I don't know what to do. I'm always in the dark. Living in a powder keg and giving off spark. I really need you tonight. Forever's gonna start tonight. The fucking hell's gonna start to. Once upon a time I was falling in love. Now I'm fucking falling apart. Something I can say, total eclipse of the heart.
People listening to this podcast have to be like, you know, it's fine. The guys talking about music are fine. They're entertaining and everything. The thing about this show is you never know what direction it's going to go in. They start talking about Avantasia. Suddenly the asshole running the booth goes into the Dan Band.
And a total eclipse of the heart. I was like,
It's good, isn't it?
It was. I was like, what would that sound? It sounds like the song must have sputtered or something, and then do 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 do. I'm like, oh, that process fast.
Fucking Radulich.
Oh, you.
Yeah. This is definitely the attention deficit disorder podcast of doom. Thinking of renaming it.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should name it the the ADD podcast of doom. I mean, what are they? What are they going to do? What are they going to send? Somebody going to send us a cease and desist? What is that? Is that has?
They have it before. They can do it now.
Yeah. I think we should start hiring lawyers.
We have 2 tracks to go, and then I can go to bed. This next one is track 12. It's actually the last track on the studio album, but there's a bonus track that follows. This one features Bob Catley of Magnum, not Magnum PI. That would be Tom Selleck. So here it is. This is A Restless Heart. Not a total eclipse of the heart. You already heard that. That was the Dan Band, and it will forever change your life. This is A Restless Heart and Obsidian Skies.
A genuine soul to dwell on baleful grounds, glances wandering around in the darkness of the world. Clouds are closed a ring around the sky, while the old ones hear the chimes through the darkness of the world. Ground.
totally 80s feel to it. Like, I feel like someone should have won a medal, in an 80s Olympics, or finished the skiing race and won the girl. It just had like a totally 80s victory feel to it.
I really was waiting for Judd Nelson to throw his fist in the air.
You want another day of detention? Yeah, give me another.
Yeah. Like, yeah, this is...
Don't mess with the bull. You'll get the horns.
I mean, I feel like we need a whole fucking, like, half the state of Wisconsin to release somehow the cheese of this song.
But I love it. It's such a great song.
I mean, it is. It's a pretty good song. It's just it's not the cheese I was expecting. Like, there's some really good metal moments in this album, and then there's other ones you're just like, damn. This thing definitely has...
they're not being purposely ironic, but you can't help but think, like, there's no other way you could have created this song without being ironic.
Yeah, there's a certain... Just this pinching irony to it. No, I mean, I think they were serious. I mean, I think this is a pretty serious album, but there's no way they were listening to this and being like, yeah, this is shit, man.
Like, if we're interviewing Tobias Sammet, he's like, no, we went for that sound. We totally, no. There's no irony here. We were totally going for, that 80s cheese victory feel. Only he probably wouldn't use those words.
I mean, it was like that time Billy Bob Thornton did an interview and refused to talk about his acting career, so much so that he cut the interview off early because he just got tired of trying to act like he was a serious musician. Like, it feels so much like that. Like, I feel like you're trying to be serious, but you've stepped on grounds that made me cackle.
Have you ever heard Ed Guy's I'm a Bonus track?
I have not.
Oh my God. Okay, you have to hear this. Let's go ahead and play Wake Up to the Moon, which is the bonus track on Ghostlights. It's our final track of the evening. But before we go, just so you understand that, yes, they took this album seriously, but Ed Guy doesn't totally take itself seriously, and you know this if you've ever heard I'm a Bonus track. So let's go ahead and hear our last song of the night, Wake Up to the Moon. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so that an all-star band there. We had Bjorn Land on there. We had Bob Catley. We had Robert Mason and Ronnie Atkins all participating in "Wake Up to the Moon." So, all right, your first taste of the metal opera Avantasia, Tobias Sammet Avantasia to be certain. What did you think of it? Are you happy I made you listen to this? Are you good with this? Are you aggravated? Are you saying, Jesus Radulich, why would you do this to me? This is almost as bad as Hatebreed. Where do you stand here?
Hatebreed wasn't that bad. I mean, it was okay. It was mediocre in points, but there was enough cheesy glory that made me appreciate things like Who's Got More Heart Than You and Time to Murder It. So yeah, that wasn't the worst thing. It was a pretty good album, though. I'd give it like a solid 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it quite a bit. There's some definite cheese in here, and it's totally a metal opera, actually a rock opera in parts. Like, they should have gotten Meatloaf for some of this. I would have loved to hear Meatloaf on this. Do you hear me, Tobias Sammet? I know you're listening, since you have nothing better to do with your life than hear a bunch of yokels from the eastern seaboard of the United States run their mouths. You really need to get the lawyers on Meatloaf.
And occasionally play the Dan Band. All right, so that is our edition tonight of the Metal Hammer of Doom. We're going to go out tonight with a special song here. I've said it before. It's actually called The Life and Times of a Bonus Track. So hang around through the plugs, and we'll play that for you on the way out instead of our usual outro. In the meantime, let's quick go over the schedule. I'm going to read off when albums are coming out and when we're reviewing them. Sometimes it's actually within a week of each other. You know, that was the goal this year. So a week from Friday, this Friday, Anthrax for All Kings comes out. We'll be reviewing it 2 weeks from tonight. So that'll be March 3rd. And then Killswitch Engage comes out on the 11th, but we won't be getting to it for a couple of weeks, unfortunately, because there's other stuff going on, which I'll go over in just a moment. In the meantime, there's been a quick reversal on the schedule. Keep up with me here. So we'll be reviewing for Anthrax for All Kings on the 3rd, and then there's going to be another show, back-to-back shows. We're finally going to do it. March 10th is Metal Hammer of Doom, Army versus Navy, our annual cover show. This is the 3rd one we'll be doing. We promised it last year. We're finally getting to it this year. So we had to change the date. We were doing it on the 17th, but I'm trying to sync things up with the movie reviews and the movie reviews with Long Road to Ruin. So basically, my daughter wants to go see Zootopia with me and me alone, which meant that I couldn't see it the weekend it came out because I'm working all weekend. So instead, you all needed to know that, I know. So instead, we'll be reviewing London Has Fallen on March 9th. We'll be doing the cover show on March 10th. I'll be reviewing Zootopia on March 16th, and then Long Road to Ruin will be back on March 17th, and we'll be looking at the Madagascar trilogy, Circus, 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 Afro Circus. On the 23rd, we'll be reviewing the entire season of Daredevil, Season 2, featuring The Punisher and Elektra. On the 24th of March is our In Defense of Man of Steel podcast. On March 25th, the new Amon Amarth album comes out, Jom's Viking. Also, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice will be coming out. And if you're not into either one of those things, you can hear Gavin Napier from the Casual Heroes and the Bunkhouse Stampede podcast give his case against Man of Steel, because we are all about being fair on the Radulich Broadcasting Network. It's all about both sides. We'll be reviewing Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice on March 30th. On the 31st, will be Long Road to Ruin, The Dark Knight Returns, the animated version, the 2-part animated series brought to you by the only decent thing to come out of Warner Brothers when it comes to DC movies, their animated movies. Baby Metal comes out April 1st. However, I will be going to Dallas for WrestleMania. So that brings us to what we'll be doing in April. Now, we'll be reviewing Baby Metal on April 7th. We'll be reviewing Amon Amarth on April 14th. And then we'll be reviewing Killswitch Engage Incarnate on April 28th. So that'll get us back on schedule again. In the far, far future, on May 5th, we'll be reviewing the new Rob Zombie album, get this, the Electric Warlock Acid Witch Satanic Orgy Celebration Dispenser. Are you excited for that, Mr. Cooper?
Oh, I am absolutely over the fucking moon. Which, by the way, hi. For some reason, it kicked me off. Like, I was still dialed in, but when I went and looked at the, since I'm in the studio now as well, it booted me. So I just had to unmute myself. Yeah, it was weird. It had just, I was still connected, but it had disconnected me from the switchboard. But yeah, I'm excited for Rob Zombie presents Word Salad.
And then we'll be doing, and then on May 19th and May 26th, we'll be finally getting around to the dearly departed Lemmy. We'll be doing a 2-part Motorhead retrospective. Part 1 will be on the 19th, and Part 2 will be on the 26th. And that brings us to June, which I have not set up a schedule yet. I don't even know what will be out by then. But we'll be all caught up with records, and we'll have done our Motorhead retrospective. We'll have done our cover show, and I think we'll be okay. So when it gets a little closer to June, we'll start plotting out more albums. But did you get all that, Cooper? You know the schedule now? All right, come back in 2 weeks for Anthrax. That's all you need to know right now, okay? Anthrax, For All Kings is our next show.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
On the MMA side of things, I'll be on 401manias.com, 401manias.com's MMA page. I'll be covering tomorrow night's Bellator event. Hot diggity dog. Shamrock Gracie 3 and Kimbo Slice versus Dada 5000. Woo, doggy. That kind of thing.
My best friend's favorite wrestler of all time is Ken Shamrock, and I was telling him about that fucking event with Mysterio and Angle, Ken Shamrock, and I think it was Dan Severn. I told him, oh, Ken Shamrock's main event in the next Bellator event. He goes, against 2. I hope it's not Hoist Gracie. I said, Hoist Gracie. He says, Jesus Christ, that fucker can still walk. God. It's like, we need prayers to hope that one of them doesn't fucking die in the cage. He's like, but on the bright side, I guess it means Shamrock might actually beat him for once.
All right. We've got about 7 minutes left of live time. I'd like to end the show before we run out of live time because God only knows what'll happen once we run into the overrun with Blog Talk Radio. So, and I still want to play Life and Times of a Bonus track by Ed Guy. So, Cooper, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, there's other podcasts that I'm not on. My friend Sean Garmer, he does the Wrestling to the Max podcast. It's usually 3 fucking hours long, but they cover every wrestling show you can think of. So find them at Spreaker.com/Wrestling to the Max, if I'm not mistaken. And then he also does Cooperative Multiplayer podcast, which is on Spreaker.com/Co-op Multi. Yeah, I need to show up on that podcast one day, but he kind of just stopped inviting me because, well, every time he's like, hey, you going to be on? I'm like, I'm at work, or I have class, or I need to teach in the morning, or it's 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. What the fuck are you doing? But there's that, and then there's the Sentai Hentai Frentai Happy Fun Time podcast, Sentai Rider podcast. Have we released an episode since October of 2014? No. Have we still had 100 more people like our page over the past 3 months? Sure. Why the fuck not? So Hunter and I have been talking, and he's like, when we hit 200, we got to release something. I'm like, yeah, they have tied our hands, haven't they? So Yeah, so maybe sometime in the next fucking 6 months, we can record an episode on the new Super Sentai series, Zyuohger, which has probably one of the dumbest looking mecha I've seen in a while, because, spoiler kids, it is Minecraft inspired. That's right. The weapons of the suit design's good. It's got creepy, furry characters, but the kicker is the changer device. Their morpher is a goddamn, Rubik's Cube looking thing. Their weapons look like Minecraft weapons, and the Zord has the same damn tile design as Minecraft. Fuck you, Minecraft, you've taken over children. So much so that even Japan was like, damn, we got to get some of that hot, sweet Minecraft money. So there you go. Otherwise, it seems like a pretty good series so far. The choreography and the production values are top-notch because it's the 40th anniversary season. So you bet your sweet ass that they are going to put their most into it production-wise. But yes, so keep your eyes peeled out for that. Maybe when I catch up on Comrade or Ghost, we'll talk about that. I don't know. All I do know about is, damn, I have a lot to do between now and fucking May.
All right. I want to thank Mr. Cooper for joining me tonight on time. It's always a special thing when he's able to do that, and I'm not trying to vamp for 20 minutes as he gets to his cell phone. Real quick, our reviews of Deadpool and Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies are all in the archives. Go check those out. A fun time was had by all, even if Robert Winfrey won't admit it. And that's it. I've babbled long enough. I'm going to bed because I have to get up in the morning and not fall asleep at my desk. So, for Mr. Cooper, I am your mandated reporter, Mr. Mark Radulich, and this is The Life and Times of a Bonus Track by Ed Guy.
Okay, let's rock. Let's rumble. Let's roll. Poor artist went to labor. Truckloads of money in mind. Rich artists left the building, 'cause all the labels have been standing in line. And so they signed. Artists wrote rock and roll history, concentrated on an album so strong. But business claimed limited edition, insisting on additional songs. That was the time when I had been born, when I first saw the light of day. And even if you got a different opinion from my point of view, needless to say that I'm happy to be, even if you don't want me to be. The world wouldn't go round without me. Well, that's shit, but we carry on. Whatever, we do a second version and then... What? But first... Okay, so here is the chorus. I'm a bonus track on my way to Japan, and I'm gonna be spread on the internet. I'm a bonus track to Brazil and back. I'm enjoying worldwide fame. They screw the industry, pay no royalty, burn me on CD, all illegally. Chinese bootlegs, Russian piracy, cutthroat Germans, they are copying me, and I don't give a shit. To me it's all the same, as long as I get all the fame and the girls know my name. I don't give a fucking shit. No, I don't give a shit. don't give a fucking shit. No, no, not a single little fucking shit. Oh, this is it. It. I'm a bonus track. Was it good?
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.